Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ranking Member, and thank you, Madam Secretary, for being here.
Thank you, Senator.
I am thrilled to have you there. I think you've already proven to be a great Secretary of Agriculture. My hat is off to you. The challenges that you're facing in reorganization and a new administration is a tall drink of water. And I certainly want to be helpful any way I can, and I can attest to those 5 a.m. texts that I don't know when you sleep, but there's so many challenges out there.
there are.
And, of course, as the former head of the Mississippi Department of Agriculture, I know all the players. And getting the calls I'm getting now on the concerns that you are desperately trying to address is very much appreciated, because there's a lot of glaring concerns that we have to take a look at. And I just admire the speed that you're tackling this and the tasks that you have in front of you. And before I go to the questions, and I know that this is about the 2026 budget request, but before I go into these questions, I just want to say this to everybody in the room. Congress needs to address the outdated and inadequate safety nets that it's in the Farm Bill during the budget reconciliation process. There's a lot of farmers in Mississippi and across this country that are not going to be able to continue unless we do address this. It is so concerning for me. And addressing one aspect of the Farm Bill SNAP in reconciliation without making improvements to the farm safety net, it will make it extremely difficult to pass a farm bill. But it is so critical. So American farmers, as you well know, desperately want a new and improved farm bill. And I think it's our job to improve the farm bill. So let's give that to them by addressing the safety net in reconciliation. I can't scream that enough. And like I said, I know this is about the budget, but that is so critically important that we do this now. I want to just commend you on how efficiently and fast the department got out the $10 billion in disaster aid Congress passed in December to help commodity producers cope with the unbelievable input and cost and the depressed commodity prices. You were excellent at doing that, and I've had my farmers call and thank me for that. But through the USDA's Emergency Commodity Assistance Program, or the ECAP that you've referenced, many farmers are able to farm this crop this year that literally they would not be able to otherwise.
Yeah.
When I have bankers come to me and say, we are not going to finance your farmers next year without something, it was that critical, and it was not sounding the alarm. It was just pure fact is what we were dealing with. So thank you for that. But when can we expect USDA to distribute the remaining disaster funds for 2023 and 2024 for the weather-related losses? That's the questions that we're being asked right now. If you could address that.
Yes, ma'am. And I appreciate all the good words. And just quickly, it is the team sitting over my right shoulder and the people back at USDA that literally worked 7 days a week, 18, 20-hour days to get that first tranche of funding out. And I'm so grateful to them and the unbelievable amount of time and effort they put into it. They're putting that same amount of time and effort into this now second tranche on the disaster relief. The portal should open within a matter of weeks before the end of the month to allow those grant applications to begin being processed. Our goal is timely, efficient, and turn it around quickly. With the first tranche, that first $10 billion, the ECAP, we were turning it in 2 to 3 days, which I believe is unprecedented for any government program, but certainly for USDA. And our goal is to have the same sort of speed, timeliness, and hopefully effectiveness on the second tranche as well.
And thank you for that, and there's no doubt that you're not going to accomplish that because you've done so well so far. And we've talked about the FSA county levels and the staffing and the decisions that have been made. But again, as I hear from all of my producers and so many throughout the country, we know that some of this is so necessary, and it is going to benefit us in the long run. It's kind of like cleaning out a closet. You dread doing it, and you get everything out, and it's just stuff everywhere until you get it sorted and organized and put back. And I know
That's
that
an
you're
amazing metaphor that I can completely understand and appreciate.
Yeah, with 4 children, we can clean out
Yes,
closets,
we
but
can.
that's where we are.
Yes, ma'am.
And to get it organized, put in the proper place.
Right.
But to get to the end of, the conclusions, is it being spent properly? And are we doing the most that we can to make it efficient? So my question is just, it's so critically important that support continues to reach these producers. And can we just ask that you work with the subcommittee on doing that?
Absolutely. And it brings up a bigger question, I think, Senator, that the average age of the farmer is 58. That's a whole other hearing for another time, how we reverse that trend. But I think it goes to, not to cast any of us, around that age or older, aspersions at any of us, but that, moving to online is important at some point. But that's my point. It isn't today. And especially with all the challenges and the headwinds against our producers, we have to keep those frontliners in place as we're moving these projects out.
Well, you have an unbelievable task with a huge agency, but I just want you to know you've got my support. I've been on the front lines. I've been there, and I am very, very pleased with what you're doing and the direction you're headed. And thank you for being willing to do it.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you.